Last week, we mastered analogous palettes. Safe, harmonious, commercially viable. This week, we're going dangerous. Complementary colors. Colors opposite each other on the color wheel. They can make your patterns pop like nothing else. Or they can make them look like a clown on a kid's menu. The difference? Knowing the rules before you break them. Hi, I'm Telva, and today you're learning how to harness complementary color harmony without creating visual chaos. Let's make this work. First, let's be honest about what complementary colors actually do. Red and green, blue and orange, yellow and purple. When you put opposites together, they create maximum contrast, which means maximum energy, maximum vibration, maximum eye-catching power. Here's why designers love them. They create instant focal points and patterns. They feel dynamic and energetic. They photograph beautifully. All that contrast pops on screens. But here's the problem most designers hit. Pure complementary pairs at full saturation look cheap. They vibrate and clash. They scream instead of speak. They feel juvenile unless you control them. So today, you're learning the control mechanisms that make complementary palettes sophisticated instead of garish. Let me show you the 3 ways complementary palettes go wrong. Mistake number 1, using both colors at full saturation. Bright red plus bright green equals Christmas disaster. Mistake number 2, using them in equal proportions. 50-50 splits creates visual competition, not harmony. Mistake number 3, there's no neutral buffer. When complementary colors touch directly, they vibrate and fight. The pattern becomes exhausting to look at. The fix isn't to avoid complementary colors, it's to use them with structure. That's what we're building today. Here's your control mechanism, the 60-30-10 rule. In complementary palettes, you need hierarchy. 60% is your dominant complementary color. This is your workhorse. 30% is your opposing complement or your supporting color. 10% is made up of neutrals and or transition colors. These are your buffers. The ratio prevents the 50-50 fight. One color leads and the other color supports. And your neutrals give the eye a place to rest. Without this hierarchy, you're just shouting into directions. With it, you're creating intentional drama. Your first strategy for sophisticated complementary palettes would be to desaturate at least one side, either the dominant or the supporting color. You cannot use pure red with pure green in surface pattern design unless you're designing Christmas wrapping paper. Here's what works. Muted coral with deep forest green, dusty blue with soft terracotta, sage green with muted burgundy. See the pattern? At least one side, and often both, needs to be knocked down in saturation. This removes the crayon box feeling while keeping the complementary tension. Think 40 to 60% saturation max, not 100%. The color theory still works. They're still opposites, but now they're talking to each other instead of yelling. The second strategy is to shift your values so they're not competing. If your dominant complementary is mid-value, make your accent either very light or very dark. Example, mid-tone teal, 50% lightness with terracotta, 80% lightness, or pale gold, 30% lightness. This creates contrast without clash. The complementary relationship provides color tension, but the value difference provides hierarchy. Your eye knows which one to prioritize. Here's your test. Convert it to grayscale. Do they read as distinctively different values? If they're both mid-gray, you need to push one lighter or darker. Value hierarchy is what separates professional from amateur. Here's the method. Step 1. Choose your complementary pair from the color wheel. But think about market first. Not all complements work for all markets. Step 2. Decide which side is dominant and which side is supporting. Base this on your market. Step 3. Desaturate and adjust the values. Knock them both down in saturation and separate them in value. Step 4. Add 1 to 2 strategic neutrals that add up to 10%. These are your buffers and breathing room. Step 5. Test in a quick pattern mock-up. Can your eye rest or is everything screaming? 10 minutes, 5 steps, 1 complementary palette that actually works commercially. Let me show you this in action. The Modern Farmhouse Collection. Complementary pair I chose were blue-green and red-orange. Color 1, red-orange, desaturated to 30%, mid-value at 48%, proportional use about 60% dominant. Color 2, the soft sage, a blue-green, desaturated to 45%, light value at 72%, proportional use 30% supporting. Color 3, warm cream, a very neutral, very light color at 88%, proportional use 10%. Why does this work? Complementary tension between the sage and terracotta creates energy. Both colors desaturated equals a sophisticated pattern, not garish. Clear value separation means readable patterns. The neutral buffers the complementary colors so the eye doesn't stop. Market appropriate for home goods. You're using color theory, not fighting it. Example 2, Coastal Luxe Collection. Complementary pair, blue and orange. Color 1, deep navy, blue, saturated at 65%, a very dark value at 25%. Proportional use, 60% dominant. Color 2, pale coral. That's that orange, desaturated to 35% and a light value at 78%. Proportional use, 30%. Supporting. Color 3, sand, warm neutral, mid-light at 68%. Proportional use, 8%. Color 4, ivory, very cool neutral, very light at 92%. The proportional use, 2%. Why does this work? Navy anchors with sophistication. Pale coral provides the complementary pop without screaming. Massive value difference between 25% versus 78% creates the hierarchy. Warm sand bridges the temperature gap. Feels expensive, not elementary school. That's what control looks like. And here's a professional technique. Use the neutrals as buffers between your complementary colors and patterns. Don't let the orange touch the blue directly in your design. Put a cream or a gray between them. This prevents optical vibration. When complementary colors at similar values touch, they create a jarring visual buzz. Your neutrals become transition zones. It's like adding punctuation to a sentence. The words still matter, but the pauses make them readable. Here's something most designers miss. Complementary colors are always temperature opposites. Red-orange is warm. Blue-green is cool. Yellow is warm. Purple is cool. orange is warm, and blue is cool. This is why they work and balance each other so well. But you need to consider which temperature should dominate based on your market. Warm, dominant complementary palettes with orange leading, blue supporting, feel energetic, cozy, optimistic. They're used for kids' products, food, casual lifestyle. Cool dominant complementary palettes, blue leading, orange accenting, feels sophisticated, calm, expensive, used for luxury goods, professional environments, premium apparel. Don't just pick pretty colors. Choose your temperature hierarchy strategically. Don't use them at equal intensity. One must lead. Don't use both at full saturation, unless you're designing for a kindergarten. Don't let them touch directly without a neutral buffer. Optical vibration is real. Don't forget that 60-30-10 rule. You need hierarchy. Don't ignore your market. Complementary palettes can feel cheap or sophisticated depending on execution. And the biggest mistake? Thinking complementary colors automatically means bold and bright. Some of the most sophisticated palettes in luxury design are complementary. They're just controlled. Muted burgundy and sage, navy and peach, charcoal and soft gold. All complementary, all refined, and saturation and value are your control levers. And here are the final checks before you commit. The grayscale test. Do you have clear value hierarchy? The squint test. Step back and squint. Does one color dominate or are they fighting? The proportion test. Roughly 60-30-10 or is it closer to 50-50? If so, adjust. The touch test. Are complementary colors touching directly anywhere? Be sure to add those neutral buffers. The market test. Does the temperature hierarchy fit your buyer? The pattern test. Drop it into a simple pattern. Can your eyes rest or is everything vibrating? If something feels off, you usually need to either desaturate more or shift the values further apart or increase your neutral proportion. Don't abandon the complementary relationship. Just refine your execution. Truth time. You can do this manually in 10 minutes once you know the method. But Paletra, a new app that I've developed, speeds this up significantly. You build your complementary palette and Paletra instantly shows you, is this truly complementary on the color wheel? What's your saturation balance? What's your value distribution? Is optical vibration likely? Are your proportions creating hierarchy? What takes 2 minutes of checking manually takes 10 seconds in Paletra. It's built specifically for surface pattern designers who need to validate commercial palettes quickly. Use code HARMONY for 20% off. See the link in the description. Here's your assignment. Build 2 complementary palettes this week using different pairs. For each palette, choose your complementary pair and decide which leads, 60% dominant, and which supports, 30% dominant. Desaturate both sides to at least 40 to 60% saturation. Shift values so they're not competing. Add 1 to 2 neutrals for the remaining 10%. Test in grayscale, check for optical vibration, validate with a mock-up. Then grab the free download. It includes the complementary formula broken down step by step, plus 5 market-ready examples showing different complementary pairs in action. Study how saturation and value change the feeling while the complementary relationship stays constant. That's complementary color harmony, controlled, intentional, and commercially viable. If this changed how you think about using opposites, Make sure you're subscribed and grab that free download below. Join my exclusive newsletter for surface pattern designers where I share advanced color strategy and market insights, helpful tips, tools, and techniques straight from Telva's toolbox. Next week, we're getting into something powerful, color psychology secrets that make patterns sell. We're talking about why certain colors convert buyers while others just sit there looking pretty. You don't want to miss this one. I'll see you in video 5.